sunshine, blue skies, marine clouds. Just a perfect day to go outside and relax. That's your forecast. We'll be right back.
Yeah, sunny days, sunny days, sunny days. No clouds in the sky, but again, away feels like it's been a...
Welcome back to another episode of The Social Beaches. I'm Kelly Bowling.
I'm Carolyn Smith.
And we're with the Coastal Estate team at Compass. We sell real estate in Brevard and Indian River counties. So if you're looking to buy or sell or just want some information on the market, please give us a call, 321-422-2160. You can also text us at that number, or you can email us at hello@coastalestateteam.com. Or you can leave a comment or send us a DM on whatever platform you're watching.
Yep.
So today we're going to talk a little bit about home improvement do's and don'ts for selling. Like what should you do, what's not really worth it, and that sort of thing.
I think as the market's gotten a little flopped around here where sellers were just able to
literally sell anything.
Yes. They didn't have to do a whole heck of a lot. No. We're getting a lot more questions from our sellers. What should I be doing? Or we're having to just say,
yes,
you need to do these things.
Yes. And I feel like the conversations used to be really, oh no, it's fine. Like, you know, sure, your walls can be like a different color in every room that nobody would choose. And now you're having to be like, you're going to need to paint everything, the whole house. Yeah.
Yes. And also explaining to people, like, when you do that, like, let's move you out first. Let's move you out before we do those things.
Oh,
don't try and paint around your furniture, because then what happens? You move out and it needs to be repainted.
Sometimes people do paint literally around their furniture. Like they'll have a big armoire on the wall that they won't move. It's like, and then when they move out, you're like, what happened here?
It's the old, like, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner cartoons, remember, where they would do something and there was like an imprint in the wall?
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yes, for sure.
It is, yeah. Don't paint around a picture or something. Like, did you not think maybe I should take the picture off the wall?
That brings us to painting.
Yes.
If you're not good at it, don't do it yourself.
Yes.
Please hire. I know it's expensive, but I feel like the impact that it makes when somebody comes into your house or in the photos, right? If you've got a nice neutral color, the baseboards didn't accidentally get swiped over and they look fresh and clean, it really cleans the house up.
Well, especially if you have moved out and there's nothing to distract the eye. So when somebody walks in and there's nothing in there, their eye is going to go to every flaw and imperfection and things like your walls and your baseboards and
like
your
you
trim
took your
work.
pictures off the walls, but we didn't fill the holes.
Yeah.
You're going to see that. So you got to cover that up. Fix it the right way. Don't do gloppy. Get it professionally done.
Yeah. If you don't know how to do those things, like I can paint. It also will take me 100 years to paint.
Exactly.
And if I'm moving, like if you're moving and you're packing boxes and you're actually moving and dealing with all that, you might think, oh, it's no big deal. You're not going to have time to paint.
Yeah. And then people will argue and be like, well, I don't have money to pay, a painter $8,000 to come in here and paint the inside of my house. Compass Concierge, everybody.
Yes.
We have a tool for that.
We do. We have a tool for you.
It's kind of like borrowing against your proceeds, and you don't have to take the money out of your bank account or your investment or your savings or whatever. You can just use that and pay it back at closing.
And the thing is that you may say, well, then I've spent the money and I've sold it for the same amount, but that's not true.
No.
Somebody is going to knock down your price by not just the cost to paint, but the cost to paint plus the pain in the ass factor. I mean, they are.
It really is, yeah.
And they don't know how much it's going to be, and they're not really sure, so they're going to add on like a fluff factor, and then they're going to add in the fact that they have to do it, and maybe they're moving right in, so then you're painting around furniture.
And then if there's another home, there's a lot more inventory on the market these days, so you're competing with other homes that are maybe truly turnkey.
Yes.
And if they're like, well, I could get that house and not paint, or I could buy your house, and then I got to do all of that, but maybe they'll give me a reduction on price. You know what I mean? The turnkey house is always going to win.
Everyone always thinks that their house is the very best house.
Of course, yeah.
But for a buyer, they're not attached. They're doing exactly what you said.
Right.
They're comparing your house to every other house that's available that meets their needs.
Yes, absolutely. So another thing is, some people don't think this is important, but landscaping, it's really important. Think about it. I'll give you an example. You have a house where the backyard is just smooth and level, and there's grass. It may not be the most beautiful grass, but there is grass.
Yes.
And the houses are the same condition on the interior, same condition on the exterior, with the exception of the landscaping. The other house that's for sale had big dogs who dug holes
Yeah.
all over. So it's really just dirt and a couple weeds sprouted everywhere. Which house are you going to pick? Do you want to deal with getting that yard level?
Yeah. You don't. And when you walk up, I mean, they talk about curb appeal for a reason.
Yes.
If I walk up to your house or the buyer walks up to your house and there's like overgrown plants and they haven't been trimmed and nobody's redone your mulch, or the rocks are like sparse because they've been there for so long.
Right.
You need to fix that.
Yes.
It's not
The
just
first
the first
impression.
thing. Yeah, it's the first thing, and it's also the last thing, because they're going to come back out your front door
Yes.
and they're going to see all that, and then they're going to get in the car and look at your house and see all that.
And it's in the pictures of your house.
Spence, go to Lowe's. Go to Lowe's. This is something you can do yourself.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
You can do yourself. They don't have to be huge plants. You don't have to do a ton of plants.
Just get something there. Get the mulch or the rocks freshened up so it looks
Yes.
clean. Yeah.
Yeah. Make it look clean. Put in a little
Hire
color.
a neighborhood kid to weed your bed.
Yeah.
Put them to work.
Can I find one of those? I need
Start
someone to weed
knocking
my
on the
beds.
doors. Just start knocking on the
If
doors.
you know anyone who wants to weed my beds, please, because my weeds,
kids these days, they really don't want to work even
Yeah.
for pay. I learned that this summer.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
the weeds have overtaken at my house. But
Right.
I'm not selling, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The small remodel jobs, like we're not like your backsplash. Maybe you started it. Maybe you had good intentions and you watched some
Yeah.
DIY show or a TikTok and you were like, oh, I can do that.
Yeah.
And either you did a poor job or you didn't finish the job.
Yeah. Like, trim kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Or people will do like an accent wall with like
Yeah.
some sort of fancy, they saw it on,
Yes.
HGTV.
Yes.
But if you're not really professional at that and maybe they don't meet up the way they should, or like you sort of did it, but then you didn't change the baseboard to kind of align with that, or it doesn't match other things in the house, like you started one style here and did another style there. Like it's got to be cohesive.
I just showed to two different buyers, I showed a condo, and in the bathroom, the tile on the floor looks great. The vanity, new. Everything looks great. You open the curtain to see the tub shower. I don't know how to cut tile, but I'm pretty darn sure I could do a better job than that.
Oh, no.
Yes. It's like the worst. Nothing lines up. It's like,
Oh, gosh.
it needs to be redone. No one is going to live with that. If they are going to live with that, they're going to discount the price a lot.
Oh, for sure.
Or they're going to say, you fix that, or they're not going to buy your place.
Yeah, they'll buy the other one that's for sale.
They'll buy the other one that's for sale.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have
You
to
said
spend.
that was a condo?
It was a
There's
condo.
a lot of those for sale right now.
That's a whole nother
That's a different
bullwax,
topic we already talked about,
But
yeah.
I mean, you have to do everything. So sometimes you got to do something like tile work. And don't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Don't do it yourself.
This is true. I
Hire
had some
a
sellers
tile
recently
setter.
that like they did all of the right things to
Yeah.
get their home ready to sell.
Yeah.
They put a roof on, they have a new AC, they painted the outside, they painted the inside all neutral. It made it super clean. You know what I mean? They went
Yeah.
through and they did absolutely everything they could think to do. And there's always going to be some stuff that pops up,
Yeah, of
on
course.
inspection, or maybe it's, everything's not somebody's taste. But I will say that one sold in a sea of homes where there's a ton of inventory at that price point and competing against new construction as well. That one sold. So, then you have others where they've done most of the things, the big ticket things, like they have a roof done, they painted the outside, they have a new pool pump, they have a new this,
Yeah.
new that, all these new things, but there's some stuff on the interior that could use some updating,
Yeah.
because it's just not everybody's taste. Those are the conversations that I do struggle with these, telling people like, hey, it's ugly, we need to fix it,
I'm pretty brutally.
I know you're
I'm
very
pretty
good
brutally
at that.
honest.
You're very good at
But,
that.
I really feel like, and when you don't listen and it doesn't sell, then I told you to do these things. But, I get it. It's hard to spend the money. It's so hard. And Compass Concierge.
Yes.
Kelly mentioned it before.
I love it. It's a great product.
We have a lot of clients who use it. And it's like, if you do not have the funds to do it, if you have the funds, great.
Yeah.
But if you don't have the funds,
Well,
make
even if
use
you
of
have
that.
the funds, but maybe they're in
Yeah.
your retirement account, or
Yeah.
they're in a savings account that's a high yield or whatever, and
Yeah.
you don't really want to touch that,
Yeah.
because you don't know if the house is going to sell in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or
Yeah.
whatever. use the Compass Concierge, and just you can pay it back at closing with proceeds. You never had to touch your money.
You also can use those monies to do your repairs that you might have to do
Yes.
as a result of a home inspection.
Use it for staging. If your house is empty because you've already moved out, stage it.
And let's talk about staging, because people are like, the house will sell. It will sell. It will sell for less money.
It will.
When you
always.
add on the cost of staging, and we don't own a staging company. We have
No
we have no skin in that
affiliation?
game.
No,
Yeah, we have no skin in that game. But we will say time and time again that when people stage, the house sells fast, the property sells faster, and it sells for more money. And when I say more money, I don't mean what it would have sold for plus the cost of staging. I mean
far more.
more money.
It's a great investment because you get a good return on it for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of staging, I don't know. We're going to flip over here to the Owning Manhattan, Ryan Serhant's new show.
I love that show. I've seen all
that
the
one where they
episodes.
staged the one at the plaza.
Yeah.
And did you hear how much they paid?
Yes.
It was like $27,000.
Yes. But it was a terrible.
And it was not good. She came in to critique it. She goes, you paid
Well, I'm
$27,000
sorry, but that
for this?
furniture, we have better furniture when we stage. I
Oh,
feel
for
like.
sure. And we don't pay anywhere near
It
that.
looked cheap.
Staging does not cost
And
that here,
wait
people,
a minute.
okay?
What was the price of that place? Do you remember?
Was it $10 million?
Something like that.
$10 million.
And this furniture looked like,
Wayfair. No offense, Wayfair, but
no offense, Wayfair, but Wayfair has better stuff than that.
well, yeah, that's
Some
true.
of that stuff looked like, you went to the donation place and you mixed and matched. I'm like, this does not belong in this expensive.
No, it was not good, but
No.
yeah.
So if you're going to stage, use the good stager.
Yes, good staging.
See,
that's
Kelly
for
and I
sure.
will tell you what
Yes,
stager.
no doubt.
Yeah.
What's the other thing? Oh, the roof. That's
roof.
a big one.
The roof.
It's so important here. That's really should be like number one on this list, really.
So for those of you who do not know, in Florida, or at least in our area of Florida, and I think most of Florida, you
Yeah.
cannot get insurance if your roof, shingle roof
Shingle roof.
is over 15 years old.
Yeah, it has to have 5 years or more of life
Yes.
remaining on it. So
And it has to be less than 15 years or less. And at 15 years, you got to replace it the next year. So someone's already factoring
they've
that
already
in.
yes.
Yeah. Tile is different. Metal is different. But for shingle roofs, which are most of the roofs.
Yes,
Yeah.
we have a lot of those around here.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if your roof is old, get it replaced. And there are roofers who will replace the roof and be paid at closing.
Yes.
But remember, you do
Or
owe
they'll
them.
finance it on
Yeah.
a plan or something
Yeah.
like that so that you can, make small payments until
Yeah.
you do close. So something to keep in mind that, when you're thinking of listing, that's the first question you need to ask. Wait, how old is our roof again? Mm-hmm. Would it pass? Mm-hmm. If you're not sure, you could call an inspector and just have them do a quick little 4-point for you.
And I'll tell another story about that, because there's a tile roof that has gone well beyond what a tile roof should go beyond. And it's not one of our properties. It's another agent's property. That property should have sold. And she is, done all the things to get them to do the roof. And they don't want to do the roof. And it's preventing the property from selling.
It will.
Yeah.
Nobody can buy it if they can't get insurance.
And tile roofs
Or
are expensive.
if they can get insurance because it's right on the cusp, tile roof is pricey. So people knowing that they're buying something that in 1 year or less, they're going to have to turn around and dump 70, 80 grand into or more,
And
depending
they
on the
have to
home.
pay, well, I guess some roofers finance, but in most cases, if the roof's already on, you can finance it in your loan, right? You're financing, if you're putting down 20%, you're financing 80, you're financing 80% of the cost of that roof that's already rolled into the price of the home.
Right.
But if you have to pay it out of pocket, you're paying 100%.
Yeah.
Post-closing, you better have that cash
And
available.
if you're
Different.
financing a roof after closing with a roofer, you're paying a whole lot more than whatever the mortgage interest rates
That
are
is
now.
right.
It's probably like a 20% interest rate
Yeah,
or
and they're
more.
charging you through the nose probably
Yeah.
for that, yeah.
I'm sure.
So,
What's the other thing? Oh, 4-point items, leaks.
plumbing leaks.
Plumbing
We're talking
leaks,
about
electrical
plumbing leaks.
issues, which
Yeah.
you may not know when you list your home that you're going to have these problems, and you're not going to really find these out until you have a buyer that does an inspection.
Yeah.
But don't argue with your agent when they call you and say the buyer has issues on the 4-point.
There's safety issues, there's plumbing issues. The 4-point has to be clear to get insurance.
And there's not an inspector that I know that will lie.
No.
That's their license on the line.
Yeah.
So.
And you don't want them to lie, because the
No.
reason that 4-point stuff's on there is because your plumbing could leak or is leaking. Your electrical could be a safety hazard.
Right.
These are things that need to be fixed. That's the
Definitely.
reason the insurance company wants them fixed.
Exactly. And, let's say you can find somebody to lie. Guess what? Your insurance company can send an inspector out.
And almost all of them do now, I feel like.
Yes.
They're coming out in that first week you own the home. So you get this call and you're like, oh, there's an inspector coming to the house.
Yep.
And it's sent by the insurance company.
Yeah. Didn't you have one recently where they hadn't moved in yet because they were going to be
Yes.
redoing the floors, and the insurance company came out
Wanted
and
to
peeked in the
cancel them.
windows. Yes, because there was no furniture. They didn't think they were living there.
Yeah.
So
Wanted
then
to
they ended up
cancel
having
them.
to move stuff in to
Yeah.
show they were living there. I'm
there.
like, that's nuts.
But
to
they
me,
weren't living. I mean, the reason they that was their primary residence. They did have every intention, but you don't want to move furniture in to
if
redo
you're
the
ripping up
floors.
floors. Oh my
So
gosh!
the
Right?
first order of business was to redo the floors. And then they were moving in, and the
Yeah.
insurance company was like, "It's a vacant home."
Yeah. So I have people that are closing tomorrow,
Yeah.
and that's their plan. They're going to have the tile pulled up.
Yeah.
And I heard their flooring contractor when we were there last week with the installers saying she was going to pull all the blinds and, package everything up so that it doesn't get all the construction
Yeah.
dust in it. So I was talking to Jen about it, and she goes, "Ooh, tell them they need to cover the windows." And she told me that story. So I emailed them. I'm probably going to look like their hero.
Yeah.
Like, tell your people to mask all the windows off with paper. A, it'll save your glass from getting
Yes.
gross, right? But B, then people can't be peeking in the windows if they send the inspectors out. So
Yeah, to look at something.
yeah, they'll
And
just have
it's-
to come back another day.
And it's like you would sign an affidavit, you would sign whatever. I'm moving in this
yes,
house.
like obviously we have work to do. Would you want
Yeah.
to move in and drill up tile? I mean, I've already lived through that once. It was like the apocalypse. I have never
if
seen
you've not lived through tile
so
being
much
removed.
like dust.
Dust.
It like literally broke our air conditioner.
Yep.
It was so much dust. Yeah.
You have to like triple filter and
It
yeah.
was no bueno.
No.
Do not recommend. Yeah.
So that's why vinyl plank is honestly, people can give their opinions on luxury vinyl plank, and I know wood is great, but we're in Florida,
We're in
and
Florida,
there's issues
humidity,
with wood.
water.
But luxury vinyl plank,
Pop it up.
it just pulls right up.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Tile,
I wish that's what we had done when we did the tile.
Yeah.
Because it's a great product. It's easy to clean.
yes.
It's durable.
Yes.
Like all of the
It's
things.
resistant to water, and you don't have to worry about grout lines or them getting dirty. We're fans of luxury vinyl plank, and I'm telling you, some of that stuff's so good, you have to get down on your hands and knees and touch
I
it
know.
to determine, is it wood?
Right. Well, the girls that had the condo, remember? They
Yeah.
had somebody at the association saw that product being installed in their unit before they bought it. And
Yeah.
they have a rule against hardwood flooring
Yeah,
at that building because of quietness underneath for your neighbors below you.
yeah.
And he swore it was hardwood. He swore it was hardwood, and they were like, "No, really, you can come see. Like, we have the boxes of the product still
Yeah.
in there that the seller left behind. It has a backing on it. It is vinyl." He was like, "No, it's wood."
You know,
It
if I have
looks-
to get down on my hands and
looks
knees and
good.
feel it, and some of it even feels good.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, is it wood?
I know.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't
good stuff.
hesitate. We like luxury vinyl plank. And then Kelly always likes to talk about using a professional
Professional
versus the
versus
do-it-yourself.
DIY. I tell you, look, I love hiring a professional because they get in and they get
Yeah.
out. And we did that for the bathroom.
Yeah.
And it was a couple weeks, a month maybe
Yeah.
for the project, start to finish. Not really a big headache at all. And then people were like, "Oh, you spend too much money. You should have done it yourself, blah, blah, blah." So guess
Yeah.
what? We did it ourselves for the flooring project in the kitchen. And my husband's a professional. I feel like he can do professional quality. But it's been 84 years. We started on March 18th.
Kelly started when she was 10.
March 18th we started officially. Today is August 1st
Yeah.
as we're filming this.
Yeah.
I have floors in. Cabinets have been installed. Countertops have been installed. But the
Yes.
finished stuff, like
Yes.
all the trim,
Yeah.
the trim on the cabinets, the side of the cabinets, it's not done.
Yeah.
And, he's got stuff like, he wants to go fishing.
Yeah.
And it's summertime. So, yeah, it's literally that meme that you see from the lady from the Titanic.
Yeah.
It's been 84 years. Yes, it has been.
I'm telling you, it's, and I just went in a house and I love these people. They hired professionals to do part of it. And they're like, we can do this finish work ourselves. They weren't planning on selling, they were like
yeah.
doors that aren't quite square in the opening and are
yeah.
rubbing. And then they were like, oh, we'll just cut a little bit.
Finish work is so important. So important because it's like literally the fine details that really pull everything together.
I always say that people say God's in the details. I'm like, the devil's in the details. The devil is in the details.
This is true.
Yeah.
I remember seeing this one house online and can't remember where it was at, but they had done all kinds of trim, like beautiful, craftsman style trim, different projects like walls and things like that. But even in the photos, you could zoom in and you could say, oh, they did this themselves. You could tell 100% in the pictures. Yeah. So I'm like, it didn't look good up front. And you know what the other one is? Remember when like the white subway tile with the black grout was like a trendy thing?
Remember that condo I told you about where it looked bad? That's what they did.
Oh, well, there you go.
Black grout.
If you're not a professional, you cannot do this because
black grout.
It has to be perfect. The grout line has to be perfectly like straight. Yeah. Can't be smudged at all because I remember like it will look good in the photos. And then you'll get there and you're like, did somebody take a Sharpie to this grout line? Like it's bad. Like my 5-year-old.
Black grout is a tough one. No
you gotta be precise.
DIY person should ever, and most tile setters should not be using black grout. Black grout's not a good idea.
No. It was a trend for a minute. Yeah. That's the other thing. Don't date your house. Yes. Like date it with like the trendy stuff.
Yes.
People like to do that. And they're like, oh, this is so pretty. I'm like, I know. But then in 5 or 10 years, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, that is so
well. And if you're doing things to sell, don't worry about your personal taste.
No.
Because this is not going to be your house anymore. People will be like, I don't like that. I don't care that you don't like that. It doesn't matter that you don't like this.
Right.
We're going to do things that are neutral, that are appealing to the largest amount of people.
Right, the biggest audience possible.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're not doing this because you like it. You're not going to live here.
Yeah. Like right now, I know the dark and moody is really popular.
The black kitchen cabinets. I'm like, please don't do black kitchen cabinets. I'm sorry. If you want to do a black island or like one black accent area or something, but black kitchen cabinets are a tough one.
Yeah, it's a lot. And then I saw these guys talking the other day, like designing. They're like, if you're going to do that, I think you just take the whole thing, walls and all black. And I'm like, please don't do that.
I've seen that too. I have
seen that too. Does it look great in like the Architectural Digest?
Yes.
Yes.
With all the lights.
Is it going to look good in your house when nothing else is cohesive with that? No.
No. And don't forget to change your light bulbs.
Oh, that's so important. This is the cheapest thing. Just going and getting light bulbs that are all the same color temperature.
Make sure, and that all work. Like, don't show your house with burnt out bulbs.
You've got a ceiling fan that has like the 4 lights in it and only one of them is working. Yes.
Or can lights where like half of them are burnt out.
Yeah.
No. Or half of them are half of them are daylight bulbs and half of them are soft white.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they got to be the same color temperature for sure. Like the bathroom vanities, That's the biggest glaring thing because the light bulbs are literally in your face, on those old school, the vanity lights. Yeah.
Yeah. And clean, I would say. Clean your light switches. Wipe down your baseboards.
All the things, need to be clean for your pictures and then for your showings. Yeah.
We're trying to get your house sold.
Yeah, we sure do.
So we're telling you the things to get your house sold. We are.
They're maybe not the things that people want to hear.
I'm always like...
in today's market, my house would definitely not be selling. It's got too many things going on that need to be finished.
I just had a client ask me, can I use this tile? They're replacing the tile on their front porch. And I looked at it and I go, that's interior tile.
Oh.
That is not non-slip. We're not putting that on your front porch because...
You want to get sued?
Even if this person showing your house doesn't fall, the new owners, somebody's going to fall on that.
Yeah.
Like you need commercial grade tile, non-slip tile. So pay attention to stuff like that. Listen to your realtor. Ask your realtor.
Ask your realtor. I had some people ask me the other day about some stuff that they were like, we're thinking of doing this. We don't think we're going to sell anytime soon, but these are smart people. Ask your realtor. Like, what should we do? Yeah, for sure.
So anyway.
I think that's it for today.
That's it. Okay. We'll talk to you next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Weather forecast today.
Today's forecast